My name's Jodie McGowan. I'm one of the authors in this book. I've been asked to contribute a chapter based on the physiological effects of kids who specialise too early. My background is I'm a physiotherapist, and I got into some research a few years ago where I did a thesis on specialisation in training volume and the impact it had on children's injuries. So my interests very much lie in looking after youth, looking after kids that play a lot of sport, and I hope you enjoyed this chapter because it's sort of my interpretation of what's going on in the world of coaching and sport in regards to what's happening with our kids being pushed into a lot of sport early. As a summary of the chapter, it's called 10,000 hours, and that's kind of the myth I'm trying to dispel. It's looking at that myth of having to do a whole lot of training early on in order to become an elite athlete, and why we think it's a myth, not just because it doesn't actually lead to elitism, but also because of the negative effects it seems to have on kids. So in this chapter, I talk a little bit about the physiology, what can happen when we overtrain kids, what happens to their growing bones, why they're so vulnerable. And we really want to try and open up the idea of, hey, let's keep these kids in sport for long term, and let's not push them too early, break them down, and end up with kids quitting sport before they're even 13 or 14. I really enjoyed working on this chapter. It's kind of my perspective as a physiotherapist, which I guess is very much the injury base, but over my years working with a lot of coaches and my academic colleagues, it's kind of that broader sense of what we're doing, not just in their physical health, but also their mental health. So I touch a little bit on some of the practices, I guess, that are being introduced, certainly here in New Zealand. We have some really great stuff going in our national sports bodies. So at the end of the chapter, I get some really practical advice on how you can change some of the practices, some guidelines on what is too much, how much is too much, and at what stage should kids start specialising and pushing that boundary a little bit more. So lots of great resources at the end. Go and have a look at them. I'm always happy to be contacted on social media. I have a LinkedIn account, just look up Jodie McGowan, and I've also got a Twitter account, which is Jodie McGowan 11. Also on my practice website, so my practice website is www.kineticsrehab.co.nz. You're welcome to contact me by email if you want to discuss anything that is highlighted in this chapter. Enjoy!